At the recent DARPA AI XCC competition, AI agents discovered and patched zero-day vulnerabilities in real time. We are seeing a rapid acceleration of frontier AI capabilities in software engineering. These capabilities introduce marginal risks, novel cyber threats either introduced or amplified by AI that go beyond traditional attack methods. This creates a dual-use paradox. The same models used to automate dynamic fuzzing and patch vulnerabilities can be inverted to automate cyber attacks. We need to determine whether frontier AI provides more structural benefits to attackers or defenders, and how that dynamic will shift the cybersecurity landscape. To answer this, researchers from UC Berkeley, UC Santa Barbara, and Google synthesized quantitative benchmarks, qualitative literature reviews, empirical evaluations, and expert forecasting. This chart tracks the performance of frontier AI on cybersecurity benchmarks like SW Bench and CyberGym from October 2023 to 2025. Over this 2-year window, the percentage of tasks solved has increased sharply. Determining the offense-defense balance is a mandatory prerequisite for designing the next generation of critical cybersecurity infrastructure. To establish a baseline, the research team analyzed 183 papers and 34 distinct cybersecurity benchmarks. They categorized these findings using a marginal risk framework mapped across the standard MITRE cyber kill chain. This diagram maps AI's impact. Data points aggressively cluster on the red attack canvas, where AI agents succeed in reconnaissance and scaling phishing. The blue defense canvas shows a critical gap. AI lacks widespread adoption and later triage and remediation. Automated patching remains a labor-intensive process. AI development here is hindered by a lack of high-quality, real-world benchmarks required for model training. The empirical data suggests AI acts as a force multiplier for early-stage offensive operations, while defensive applications remain bottlenecked at the detection phase. To isolate exactly why defensive remediation is failing in the wild, researchers conducted a direct empirical evaluation. This logic flow shows open hands tested on offensive and defensive benchmarks. Offensively, it automated early exploitation using Kelley tools. Defensively, it achieved an 85% patching success rate, but only when the root cause was in the stack trace. Otherwise, it collapsed. Current defensive AI agents lack flexible workflow planning. They cannot natively interface with the domain-specific tools required for complex verification, such as differential fuzzers or symbolic execution engines. Defensive AI is currently bottlenecked by its own architecture. It can write isolated code, but cannot orchestrate the complex workflows required to secure enterprise environments. We have to ask if this offensive advantage is a temporary artifact of current LLM training or a structural reality of cybersecurity. The answer relies on two structural axioms, starting with equivalence classes. This table defines equivalence classes. Any cyber defense capability inherently functions as an automated attack vector if co-opted. Penetration testing becomes targeted attack enablement. Reverse engineering becomes source code theft. Attackers reap the dividends of defensive AI research without the development costs. The second structural axiom is the asymmetry of failure tolerance. Attackers require only a single successful exploit to achieve their objective, while defenders must maintain 0 false negatives across their entire attack surface. The probabilistic outputs of LLMs, including hallucinations and false positives, are acceptable for an attacker running millions of fuzzing attempts, but they are incompatible with a defender's systemic reliability. The near-term offensive advantage stems directly from these asymmetrical risk profiles inherent to cyber operations. Researchers surveyed 34 leading AI and cybersecurity experts to forecast when AI will achieve full automation across the kill chain. Experts estimate that AI will autonomously execute complex system attacks in roughly 2.3 years. Autonomous defensive capabilities are expected to lag, arriving in a 3 to 5 year window. This chart tracks the expected balance of power. At year 2, consensus projects a 32% advantage for attackers. By year 5, the gap drops to 13%. At year 10, it shifts to near perfect parity, indicating a stabilized landscape. The security community expects a volatile near-term landscape where offense dominates. Success requires a fundamental shift in defensive strategy to reach that long-term equilibrium. For the next few years, frontier AI will act as a significant force multiplier for offensive actors. To survive this window and reach the 10-year equilibrium faster, the cybersecurity community must rethink how AI agents are built. First, defenders must build multi-agent systems intrinsically linked to hard program analysis tools, allowing AI to iteratively refine its output against actual compiler feedback. Second, the industry must shift from probabilistic guessing to AI-driven formal verification, using AI to generate mathematical proofs that guarantee a system's functionality and security. Third, we must design secure-by-construction AI frameworks that enforce strict privilege isolation. If an agent hallucinates, it cannot compromise the host environment. Once defenders successfully leverage AI to build mathematically secure systems, the resource cost for attackers to find viable vulnerabilities will become prohibitively expensive. While AI arms the attacker in the short term, its ultimate value lies in helping defenders automate the construction of secure-by-design digital infrastructure.